an amazing, amazing 3 days we have had with everyone joining us here at Tokenize This 2026. Thank you all for sticking around, and we are going to ask you to stick for one more very special fireside chat, and I guarantee it won't take all 40 minutes, so don't worry. But look, it's been an incredible 3 days, as I said, and we appreciate you guys attending, everyone that sponsored us, everyone that has contributed to the success of this event, which we've been growing for. This is now our 4th edition, and the first one under the Redstone umbrella, and I'm sure more to come. So, very special fireside chat that we have in store for you. One of the original co-creators of Tokenize This, Mr. Herwig Konings, and the new proud owner of Tokenize This, Mr. Marcin Kazmierczak.
Right. Thank you, Jason. I am so proud to have created this event with him. It wouldn't have been possible without Jason, without a doubt, from the very, very beginning. And thank you for everyone who is still here. This is the best closing notes. Come on, it's going to be great. Who had a good time? Did you have a good time? Right on, I love it. Well, that makes me very excited, and this is a true pleasure, because Marcin and I have been able to start to talk to each other more and more ever since we decided to team up. And I gotta say, I was a little nervous. I wonder if you were too. You just took the whole team. You guys are all over the world, Poland and everywhere, and you flew them out to New York not knowing just exactly what you were gonna walk into. Were you nervous at all?
I wasn't, and the reason is very simple. It's a World Cup, and we are coming to New York City, so if Tokenize This was a flop, we could just go and watch some football games on stadiums.
That's the right attitude.
Well, no. Honestly, before we took a decision to take over Tokenize This and make this strategic move towards the US, we did a very deep due diligence of the previous editions. Right, as you know, it's the 4th one. People were extremely happy with the previous events. So when we hear this kind of references, it was a fairly simple decision to take over. Also, I have to say, I highly value the attitude and professionalism of both Herwig, Jason, and the Tokenize This team. As Redstone, we've been known as one of the most solid infrastructure providers in crypto in general. And we've been running oracles and price feeds for over 6 years without a single hiccup, downtime event, or mispricing moment in the crypto scene. So we wanted to make sure to have also the exposure for the US market a bit broadly, right? As we flew in over here, we met for the first time in person. That was also a great moment. I had a very good expectation about the turnout, and truly happy to see all you guys making deals, having fruitful conversations. I hope it's going to only be better and better.
Well said. In fact, this event isn't anything truly without you showing up to make it all possible and happen, right? And shout out to the sponsors and, of course, to Redstone, truly making this an even better event than last year thanks to their support. But going beyond, obviously, how excited I am to work with you guys and for you to take over Tokenize This, but let's talk about the room for a sec. Let's do a temperature check. How do you think people felt about where we are in the industry? Were they doing deals? Are people still learning? What was your takeaway?
Well, my takeaway was I was pretty surprised to hear many of the people came here again. So it wasn't their first time at Tokenize This, so it proves that the quality of the event is very high. Another thing that struck me was many registrations we saw in the afternoon on Tuesday, because some people met for dinners or some afternoon meetings on Tuesday and were saying, hey, this is a great event, you should come over the next day. And then we started seeing new registration, which was wow, this is a beautiful word of mouth that is spreading around New York City institutional circles. We have to say that crypto in general as the industry has seen some hiccups in the past couple of months and weeks. However, on the institutional expansion side, I've never been more excited and more positive, and this has been the kind of a vibe I got in the room. We are at the all-time high of the tokenized assets market cap, crossed 31 billion. We're at all-time high of stablecoins with 315 billion on the market. And we had largest financial institutions in the world in this room. Like we had people from DTCC, Citi, JP Morgan, Fidelity, BlackRock, Invesco, Franklin Templeton. I could go on and on. So it just shows.
We don't have that much time.
Well, it just shows the quality of people in the room has been of the absolutely highest aspect. And what's even more important, it's not anymore the discussion like whether we should tokenize or not. It's more like, hey, all right, how are we going to scale that and make sure that it's going to go parabolic? And how we create this ecosystem that would give additional features and programmability to the assets that are already living on chain so that we can harness all the advantages of the tokenization utilizing distributed ledger technology for those financial instruments.
Yeah, and I would actually like to validate that, having seen multiple editions now, right? It really has transformed and evolved into, we're just learning, we just want to, test the waters, to, no, we are doing commercial activity and this industry is about to rise. I would actually guess that by this time next year, we're going to be in a really different place in a very positive way. Let's go for 50 billion RWAs by the end of the year, huh? Tell me about how you think by next year. Are you bullish about RWAs? Is this a slow, continuing to grow situation? Or like you were saying, could this be hyperbolic growth from here on out?
Well, naturally, everyone is looking at Clarity, like what's going to happen over there. And it's been mentioned like on this stage probably like 50 times. Though what I'm really, really happy about is to see this trend that even though cryptocurrency market can be volatile, the RWA market cap and expansion has been fairly steady. Naturally, there were moments of drops, but if you draw a line, it's like going upwards all the time. 50 billion by end of the year, I would say it's very much probable. I would go probably even higher. If Clarity goes through, I would be even as, let's say, bold to say that next year we can see like 300 billion or 500 billion, right? Then going for this first T over there. And I do believe many of the speakers on the stage were sharing this kind of like an attitude. But one thing that has been very much repeated by plenty of people I've chatted in the room and I've overheard is making use of those RWAs as collateral for lend and borrow, and in general for DeFi usage. Because right now only a very small fraction of tokenized assets are actually utilized in that regard. It's mainly like, okay, let's put it on chain and then see what's going to happen. And with Redstone, we are creating a set of tools to actually orchestrate this on-chain expansion to give it the true flavor that everyone is expecting.
It's some of the critical infrastructure that is, I think, allowing it to now go into true scale. Because we've talked for many years about tokenizing assets. It's frankly not that hard. The key is now utility, the infrastructure behind it, what you can do with it, making sure it's actually institutional grade and ready for activity. That's where we are now, and I'm very excited about what Redstone is doing to make that happen. You've had a lot of media interviews. I've been pretty jealous. You've been getting a lot of good journalist interviews from many top media places. They have a front row seat to also what's going on. So I think you could have probably gleaned a little bit from them. How do they feel about tokenization and RWAs? And yeah, tell us, what do they think?
Well, I think in this kind of institutional event, what media is expecting is actually really important. And we are talking not about crypto media only that is talking about price of Bitcoin or like whether NFTs are going to come back or not. We are talking about the media that is truly interested about implementation of RWAs with financial institutions. It's not me that had a lot of actually interviews. I've seen a lot of people from either different sponsors that came over here, but also biggest financial institutions having those kind of discussions with the reporters. And what the reporters told me is that the quality of the crowd has been of the highest standard. It's not only about the number of people, and we are proud to say that this year we crossed 500.
It's a record.
It's a record, but it's also about the quality. I have had 0 random conversations throughout those 3 days. And I expect nothing less and nothing more, like let's say, happening next year and towards the end of the whole event. With reporters specifically, I do believe they were also trying to wrap their head around where are we when it comes to US market versus the global expansion. Many of the questions were asked about, all right, so if US is going to do it, like what's going Europe to, is Europe going to follow, or Asia will have like a similar expansion? And another topic that was very much clear is whether we do privacy chains or public chains. My take on that is many of the retail use cases have been happening in the public chains, and we probably are going to see that more and more. And then on the other side, we have ecosystems such as Canton that is probably more like institutional focused. And I could probably ask the audience, okay, maybe last time you can help me. Raise your hand if you ever used Canton, like yourself or your organization. All right, probably like just a couple of people, like 10%. Reason being, it's not like a retail chain, right? So it's very hard to orchestrate and like actually make use of this ecosystem because it's been designed from the very beginning to large financial institutions. So this kind of like a tug of war between public versus private is also like very interesting in the room.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to watch and play out because you guys will support all sides of it.
As infrastructure player, we want to make sure the usability is like the widest and people can get the most of the value. So we are happy to work with both of them. We've been the first Oracle to launch in Canton, and we do support many of the use cases out there. But we also support over 100 chains in the public realm, including Stellar, including Tempo, including Solana, and so on and so forth.
No, I mean, one of the reasons that I got attracted to the very reason to sell to Redstone is because of the reputation you guys have built as an Oracle. It is truly the best to get to Oracle to be approached by. But what I admire is that you're not just focused on that alone. We heard from Mike earlier about Redstone Credora, Redstone Settle. You guys have price feeds and other related services to some of the biggest and best RWAs that are out there today. What does this mean for Redstone as a whole, as an organization? How should people start to perceive Redstone and your new evolution?
Yeah, so that's an interesting one. And I was asked about this today by one of the reporters, how we've been scaling Redstone. And I do believe from the very beginning of the journey, we have taken an approach as a startup and early organization, listening to the needs of the clients. So instead of having this huge vision of like, okay, we are going to create the best product that we envision and then throw it on the market and see whether it's going to stick, we've been listening what people actually would like to get and where's the missing piece and what are their pain points. So that's how we started with the oracles, and then we scaled it up with some of the early partners such as Mento, Pendle, EtherFi, and so on, Ethena. Not many people know we've been the first oracle to support EtherFi, Ethena, Cap, and many other players that are right now fairly big. As we were scaling, we saw that the proliferation of number of assets has been growing, has been like a tremendous. So the curators and participants in the ecosystem needed some sort of like risk framework to assess them. And we had the data. So the Credora expansion was a natural one. And I could go on and on with all the product suite that we have. But answering your question, how people should think about Redstone is we are still, of course, like an oracle. So we deliver the data feeds and provide the best experience for DeFi. But we are also an orchestration layer that supports end-to-end full cycle life cycle of tokenized assets so that financial institutions can get the most out of it. So we provide education and advisory work through via Navigate that we announced here on stage 2 days ago. We have Credora, we have Settle for primary redemptions for RWAs, and we are going to continue building a suite of products that support just that expansion.
I'm absolutely bullish on the future of Redstone, and I'm very excited to continue to support it. And in fact, I would like to think that Tokenizethis is another important component to helping educate and bring on, in this orchestration layer, institutions and more. So maybe I should ask the room, should we do another Tokenizethis again? What do you guys think? Should we do another one? Well, maybe we'll have to do it again.
Yeah, so we are happy to announce that Tokenizethis 2027 is going to happen here in New York again in a year. So you are all very much invited, and we expect you all to join us. And even more so, we've got so much positive feedback that we will most likely create one satellite event throughout the year, most likely at Token 2049 in Singapore, a one-day event focused on institutional expansion in Asia. It's not settled yet settled in which location is going to be for sure, but most likely Singapore, as we are getting quite a lot of requests from our partners already. So truly excited about that, and I hope to see you all and your fellows on both of those events.
Well, it makes me very thankful to continue to see Tokenize This blossom and grow, not just in New York City and in Miami where we were before, but now globally. It truly is a testament to where we are. So again, once again, thank you to all of you for showing up and making this all possible, and we hope to see you either in Singapore or next year here. So thank you, everybody. I appreciate it.
Thank you, and see you.
And on the way, now that we're done with our program, as you all shuffle out, I am going to, of course, thank our sponsors beyond Redstone making this possible. So thank you to our gold sponsor, Invenium. Invenium definitely actually, huge shout out to Invenium. Patrick O'Meara, if you did not catch his speech yesterday, his keynote, it will be available online as soon as we get these recordings post-produced and available for you to watch. But an amazing, amazing opportunity there. You should reach out to Invenium. I also want to now go down the list because there are so many amazing partners from Canton to Solana Foundation, Zero Hash, Bricken, Prometheum, Denari, Alpaca, Revelis Wahab, Opacity, Rialto Markets, Bering Waters Group, Fairmint, Diamond Lake, Park 3643, Steelwave Digital, Red Swan, Squarefoot, SQFT Protocol, RWA Foundation, and InvestReady. And I know there will be many more next year, so thank you again, everybody. Go enjoy New York.